I've done that. Hey, but what do I know? I wrote this and won that. Oh, but what do I know? I got degrees and went to school. But what do I know? Survived backstabbers and Judases. But what do I know? I've been out here, man. I've been doing it. Let's get to the dough. I've been showing it. I've been proving it. I'm ready to go. Discuss the what, whys, and the who did it. Let's get to the show. This podcast just might be the go. Oh, but what do I know?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to But What Do I Know podcast with your girl Rukus
and your girl Jamie Nichole.
What's up, Trey Smith?
And today we are about to get ready for our season finale show of the second season of our show, and we're basically going to tackle a topic that a lot of people are afraid
of.
Yeah,
they're afraid of.
Yeah, it's not a better word for that. They're scared to talk about it. Either you're scared.
It's taboo.
At this point, it is taboo.
That's
Very
true.
much so.
That's true. That is true.
So we don't understand y'all's fears, but tonight we gonna make y'all get over them shits. So
we gonna come with some real knowledge on experts in the industry and really get down to the nitty gritty when it comes down to this taboo subject.
So when she keeps saying taboo, y'all like, what the fuck? Because this show talks about pretty much everything. So like I said, But What Do I Know podcast talks to people who actually lived that life or they went to school for it so they can give us some kind of real knowledge on things that we really don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So today we are going to get to really understand how we're supposed to properly interact with our LGBTQ community. And
alphabet community is
alphabet community is
alphabet.
Yes. And so we have some very special guests who are very near and dear to my heart, to your hearts, who are here to school y'all. And because y'all know them, y'all know they are the realest people there could be to come talk to us about this subject. So to my left here, we have far on the end there, we have, you want to introduce yourself? You want me to say who you are or what?
You can handle that.
I can handle that? I like that. That's some G shit. So he's here today on his G shit. So down there is Billy Bolar. Y'all know and y'all love this man. So, and y'all know he's real. So anything he says, he means it, and you can get your ass beat. Real shit. Okay, so in the middle.
Sam, you can handle me too.
I can handle you too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the whole thing.
No, let me. This is speech. Yeah, she was on our show before. She brought the realness and all of that goodness and the juiciness of a goddess. So this is speech.
Yes. And speech represents all the alphabets.
Yes.
And the unrepresented alphabets.
The P, the pansexual in the alphabet
Whoa.
community.
Hey. And then right here, right closest to my left, this is my girl. You want to be? She has a few names. That's what I'm like, and they're all famous. So I'm like, I don't know which one to give her right now. I'm like, some of y'all follow her and troll her and follow her and stalk her under Minaj on Facebook, and some of y'all follow and stalk her and love her and all that fun stuff under Chielle, Luscious. And she's gonna be here to make sure that y'all understand how to properly act with her community. Coming here real soon. She's got a message.
Y'all know my community is the one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one. And as a matter of fact, it's the one. Me too. It's the first one.
I'm the
We're
one.
going to talk about and clarify, some things off their chest. So, one of the things that you guys need to really understand is in LGBTQ, you know what I'm saying? We pretty much all know how the L's work. So we really ain't going to really get into y'all. Y'all are no fun. We know what you do. Yeah, L's to the side today. L's are cool.
But that's not your party today.
Right.
What about the G's?
L's are here, but they're not what?
What about the G's?
There's no L's here represented today.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason that we're going to sit here and really discuss a group that isn't here to represent, but ask questions, make sure you post and we'll address them out there and all that fun stuff. But I want to talk about the T's in the community because I think y'all got them fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And I think y'all really need to try to understand
how it works.
Yeah, how that community works. And because of that, I brought one of my near dear friends who can let y'all know how the T's work because they live T's life. Now, Chielle, can you please explain to these people what exactly is T? What does the T mean in the LGBTQ community? Whose phone is that?
That's not mine, because that's not my ringtone. I believe that that's Don Tour.
It's
that's
mine. I ain't gonna lie. It was mine.
Oh,
Thank you. She was gonna throw me under the bus like it wasn't shit.
I even put it on silent real quick, like,
I'm like, who's that?
But
Whose phone
sorry.
is that?
But the T is for transgender. I didn't call somebody. Sorry.
But continue.
I gotta get it. The T is for transgender. There's different versions of transgender. There's male to female, female to male. There's non-binary people fall under transgender who, you know, feel like they're both, not just male and female.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's more and more that there's so many, I don't know.
So tell me, what is the difference between transgender and transsexual?
And transvestite.
So a transsexual.
You know what? You done added a whole nother that
So
wasn't on my
transsexual
script.
is somebody who feels like they have transitioned in life. They're usually the ones who have completely done everything like that. Transgender is just someone who has grown up feeling like they might, you know, be stuck into the wrong body, and, you know, they may feel like the other sex, you know, but really with the transgender community, it's more of it's respect of ask a person how they want to be identified.
Okay.
Because you do have some people that do not want to be called him or her.
But then you have some that want to be identified as he or she, and they are getting referred to in a whole.
See, for me, I feel like that's just plain ignorant. When I walked in here, for you or anybody to be like, look at him, to me, means that you just disrespected me. I did not walk in here dressed like you. I did not walk in here dressed like him. I walked in here dressed like me. If you got a question, ask it.
Absolutely.
Because one thing I've always been is honest. Because I don't care what you think. That's the difference. Is I don't give a damn. Haven't gave a damn since I was 16 years old. I'm 36.
Look, there it is.
Do not.
There it is.
My identity.
But let me ask you this, because a lot of people look at, you know, an individual in your type of situation, but then when it comes back to, and maybe I don't know if I'm asking the right question right in the right segment, but it's the whole cis and non-cis and the binary. So when a woman of myself asks, you know, don't refer to me as cis, refer to me as a biological woman, why is that such a...
And that's just people's preferences. And like you like to be called something or may not like to be called something, then that's your preference. So if you don't want me to call you, if you don't want me to call you nigga, and I'm not gonna call you nigga because you asked me not to.
Understandable.
Period. We grown.
Now, Speechless.
I want to, for the people who don't understand the definition of what she said, cis. So CIS, cisgender, is someone who was labeled a certain gender at birth and they identify with that. All I wanted to do was like give a definition of that because some people won't understand what she just said. So we are referring to cisgendered people, and that means CIS, and that is people who were assigned a gender at birth and they identify with that. So people who were born with a penis and they and that is assigned male because of the penis and they identify as male. People who were assigned a vagina, they identify, and that was assigned, they had a vagina, that was assigned woman, and they identified as that. That's cisgender, okay? So that's the only thing I wanted to weigh in on that, just for the people who didn't know what cisgender is, so that you can keep up with the conversation.
Boom.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. I know, right? I know, right?
Y'all knew Spence was gonna break it down.
Make sure we good.
Right. Yeah, but I just, people want to be who they want to be. Everybody is going to be who they want to be, regardless if you like it or if you don't like it. There's a lot of people out here that I don't like what they do, but I don't give a damn. So why do you? That's all I do.
Right?
Understand? Yeah.
You know, I'm very open to people, and maybe it was because I came up in a time where, like, you didn't see a whole bunch of me's walking around. That was like very rare. You know, fortunately, like I wasn't like out there on the streets or nothing like that. Like I didn't have to, you know what I'm saying, fake it or make it. I just did because I did what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Like but back in my day, like I was like a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I took everything I ever had from like the ages of like 16 to 25. And I didn't sleep with nobody for it. I took it.
So Chielle, when did you know who you were? Like who you were supposed to be? Like at what age? Because right now
I don't
they're
really,
telling people that kids know.
people always ask me that, and I don't really say because I don't think there ever was. I just always felt away. Like, you know, I used to get in trouble all the time. Like as a small child, like 3 and 4 years old, like dressing in my sister's Easter dresses and, you know what I'm saying, playing in my grandma's makeup, you know what I'm saying, putting on her wigs. I used to get in trouble all the time for that. I remember when I was like in the 6th grade.
Well, let's go back to the story. Let's tell a story.
This shit
Story
is
time.
funny. Oh my God. So, all the dudes in the neighborhood, I had a twin sister, okay? We used to hang out. I didn't really have a twin sister. It was really me. But that's who I was between 3:30 and 5 o'clock before my mom came home from work. After I got out of school.
I thought it was story time.
That was the story.
I duped you.
That was the
That's a hell
story.
of a story.
It was a really quick story.
But
I don't know how much time we got. I was trying to cut it
Oh
short.
my
like,
God!
Oh,
But
you-
that's
I had boyfriends and everything. Almost when they start.
no.
You know
I
what?
mean,
I think, and like that
hey.
question is very interesting, and we like to ask that question, but like we don't ask artists, and if we do, we ask it in a different way. How did you know you were an artist? And most people who are who they are, no matter what that definition is, have always known.
Yeah.
Have always known. And that's the hardest thing for people to deal with, is that when you cannot conceptualize or understand a definition that someone has taken outside of you, and when you haven't been exposed to it, that question is authentic, and when asked in a certain way, it's good, and also when asked in a different energy, it's offensive. And like
Right.
tonight, it was asked in a good way, but also there's a lot of you who asked that in a super offensive way. Like, how did you know who you were when you knew who you were? Bitch, how did you know when you know you knew?
Yeah.
You knew you liked trucks when you were fucking 3. Shut the fuck up.
I
You knew
played
you
with
liked
Barbie.
pussy when you you knew that shit. So shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. Like, don't do that. And like, there's an energy that a lot of us asked that in, and it wasn't asked in that energy tonight. But there's a lot of us who ask that question of gay people, of trans people, of lesbian folks, of bisexual folks. Well, how did you know? Bitch, how did you know? There are some things that we are born with. And when you don't honor, when a person asks that from a negative energy, that means there's a part of you who hasn't been honored for who you were from the moment you came in here.
Mhm.
And like you ask that question because it baffles you that someone who has a definition outside of your comfortability can be who they are and know that from the gate.
Oh, that's all
See?
right.
And that's
I appreciate it.
That's our problem right there.
right. And for those who don't know, because he's quiet over there on the thing, they're like, well, why is Billy, for people who don't know Billy, Billy is an entertainer, and he lives a whole other life as an entirely different person outside of here. And some people have had a chance to see his entertainer side, and she's bad. And so she knows a lot about things because, you know what I'm saying, he's a girl. And other times, like just like I'm slapped sometimes, so we know a little bit of things about y'all because y'all come to us different when y'all think we are somebody else. So just saying, like.
And I've seen it.
All the time.
Yeah, it's people in my inbox because I'm slapped. So just like people in my inbox because I'm slapped, there are people in his inbox because he's not part-time.
But they get declined in that inbox.
Yeah, they do, but they still tried it.
Right.
And there's still a record.
Yes, they do.
Mhm.
So
Decline.
I wanted to touch bases back on the transgender thing when it comes to the different labels of trans. There's 3 in total. There's transgender, there's transsexual, and there's transvestite. And they all portray different elements. A transgender is a person who is converted over in the mind as being a woman. They never felt that they were a man at all. So when you have a transgender and people say, when did you realize that you were like that? They never realized they were nothing. They was always that.
But can I ask you something? What about the woman who feels like she may have been a man? Or
She's a transgender.
That's a transgender woman.
She's a transgender
No transgender
woman.
man.
Rather, if you like
She's a transgender
act on your
man that converted from a woman to
yeah.
a man. But she's a transgender. If you have a woman that identifies solely as a man, everything that she do, I have a really good friend. And before I even say anything, I didn't want to say nothing. But before I say anything, I want to give the utmost respect to my bro, Black Jack Kendrick Summers. May he rest in peace. He's done a lot for a lot of us out here, and I just want to definitely give the utmost respect to my big bro, because he's one person that made sure that none of y'all ever disrespected me when in his presence.
solid, real
And
solid,
He
real
was
solid.
great, and everybody loved him the way they did, how they loved him, and I want and ask everybody just to give him enough respect to just let him be at peace and all that other stuff. Let everybody love him how they love him, because he loved everybody differently no matter where they was at. And I just want y'all to give that respect. Respect the baby mama, the wife, the other baby mama, whoever. Respect everybody. Everybody give all respect, because he loved all of us in his own way. So that's all I asked about that. I just really want y'all to stop with all that Facebook stuff, because it's getting to my heart. Just wanted to put that out there. Please do that. But back to the transgender with male and female. Transgenders are born in the wrong body. There's no question about it.
They've always been around.
They've always been here.
If you look in like history books and go look it up, it was always happening.
A transsexual is a person who wants to be a woman, but still knows they're a man. Transvestite is a man that knows he's a man and enjoys women's clothing. So I just want you all to know the difference between TG, TS, TV.
Now, is it just a man who enjoys
Woman or man.
Okay,
It's
I want it to be
It's
equal.
always flipped every
Okay.
way.
Now,
you know.
what I would like to piggyback on all this for is this is super modern language that we're using. When it comes to my background, and I want to speak from that background, from right now I'm speaking from the conjure, from the hoodoo, from the voodoo, and from the spiritual perspective, with a little bit of like anthropological perspective from that lens. And I want to speak to the fact that like Black people are indigenous people to the earth, and African Black people, when we go back to our history before colonization, we in a lot of our countries and a lot of our spaces had several different genders. In the United States, we like to popularize the term Two-Spirit. And Two-Spirit actually comes from a specific Native American tribe, not all Native American tribes. What you will find in a lot of indigenous cultures, Black, Native, Asian indigenous cultures, the deeper you go, the more terms, the more explanation we had for gender. In a lot of African cultures and societies, there was more than just male and female. There was up to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to however many genders, depending on what region, what dynasty, what religion that you came from. I say that to say, when we talk about transgendered people, when we talk about non-binary people, when we talk about like different gendered people, when we talk about androgynous people, this has literally been around for centuries. And it is not only the Native American people and the indigenous people in this land that have terms for that. It is African people who have terms from that. I say that to say for all you Hotepi and for the hood rat constituency who like to pretend that homosexuality, who like to pretend that being transgender, non-binary, who like to pretend being androgynous is an African. It is actually, that's the basis for life. When you look at nature outside of humanity, there are polyamorous, there are homosexual, there are same-sex relationships. What we manifest as humans is natural, and specifically African people in our ancient culture have many definitions of gender. And gender doesn't mean one thing. And there's many different ways to be many different things. And the most important thing about what we're representing tonight is modern day Black humanity, which a lot of us have forgotten due to colonialism and due to white supremacy. And a lot of y'all's transphobia that's white as fuck.
Homophobia.
A lot of y'all's transphobia, a lot of y'all's homophobia, a lot of y'all's misogynoir is white as fuck. And when I say white as fuck, I mean it's white supremacist as fuck.
Yeah.
It's white patriarchal as fuck.
Giving you something to hate.
I know
This
that's
is
right.
actually the
But
way we are
everyone-
manifesting at
Everyone
every
always
single.
hates what they don't understand. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Because what people tend to, I want to touch a base on a situation, because when you was here the last time, when we was talking about anal and pegging, and
We're gonna switch it a little bit.
I wanted to go over there because she brought something up. My belief is anything that a man does with a woman, no matter what it is heterosexual.
Okay.
Because I know that just because a man may enjoy anal stimulation or whatever it may be that he may like, there is men that may like that but would never in their life be intertwined in a moment of euphoria with a man.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
And that's not
homosexual.
Yeah. That's not in opposition to what I said before, because I actually believe that.
Yeah.
Body sensation and sexual orientation are different. And like why we talked about it, because there's a lot of men who are attracted to women, but y'all like some booty stimulation. You like a little prostate orgasm, and you need to
it's
check
okay.
it's okay. Check your homophobia so you can just get pegged in the booty, bitch. Okay.
Hey,
But
you
you can't
are,
tell
it
them
ain't even
that
like a
it's
pagan.
homophobic.
Maybe it's like a little finger in the booty.
I'm only calling you a bitch because you're homophobia. Those of you who are homophobic, you ain't a bitch. But those of you homophobic, and you just want a little booty tickling, get your booty tickled, bitch!
Because bitches will fuck you in your ass because they let y'all stay with there for free. That's for real.
All right,
You don't
the
think
show's
that bitch
over.
is
with.
We're done. Stay here for free.
Yeah, dang.
I'm like, okay, I'm weak. I'm just like,
You're going off subject. I'm
no,
sorry.
I'm cracking
We
up.
got
I love
questions
it.
and agendas.
That's my question. So when so is it gay or not? I'm sick of the memes. I'm sick of the memes. I'm sick of the question.
I think
we all
with a
see
man and a man or a woman and a woman.
anything
I
with a
think
man
that's
and a
gay.
man is gay. Anything with a man and a woman or anything with same sex is gay.
It's
So
definitely
for
gay.
y'all, I'm not doing this for
I
myself.
think that everything does not have to be labeled as something. It just
Exactly.
like, why
Also
can't
that.
but why do I got to be you're black and you're trans and you're this and you're that?
I'm a
Like, why
human.
can't I just
Look, let me
and
put it
what-
out here like this. I don't think it's gay if the man that I'm with want a little finger rubbing on that.
I don't
booty
think
hole.
that's gay.
That's not
If he
gay.
likes women. Now,
And he like me.
if
He
he
like
likes men, he's gay.
No, he's not gay.
Wait.
Unless he wants to be in a relationship with the man. You can't
Or
do that.
bisexual.
You can't. There we
Because
go.
some men are there are a lot of bisexual
You can't
men.
do that.
And
There's a lot of
Gillum
men. There's a
is
lot
a
of
great-
men that are just freaky to the motherfucking.
And they're not even gay. They're just
and they'll do
hypersexual people.
They're just like freaking.
Also,
Are we talking about my ex-husband
but
Wait,
also,
don't talk over each
there's also times that like you are strictly dickly except for them exactly two people. Or exactly like you're exactly all pussy except for them exactly two people. Look, Prince was alive. There's a lot of you niggas. From 6'4" to 5'2" to 4'8" to masculine to feminine as fuck who would get fucked by Prince because he's the master.
So
And that's one of you two people, and it's okay.
So is that,
Fluidity.
is that bisexual or not? Is it? Are you bi
Sometimes,
or
well,
not?
that particular instance,
No,
sometimes
it's
you're just on the
fluid.
fluid space,
That's
Some
and you
people are
hit your
just-
one or two people.
Some people are just whoremongers.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
there's
I want to make sure I
It's
paraphrase.
more different than what people take it to.
And then
I want to make
you
sure I
have-
paraphrase. So where we are right now. I want to make sure I bring everybody in.
There was
People
a whole
who
lot
just
of
joined. I want to
conversation.
make sure. Yeah, that's a whole lot of things. So I want to make sure we bring you guys in. One, we got to recap. Tell me if I'm wrong. One, booty play is not gay unless it is done with a
Wait.
man and a man.
Or the same sex.
Same sex.
Whether
Or
it's
you're
man or a
attracted
woman.
to men, women, the same sex. Yeah, let's get
Same
this.
sex.
Okay,
Shit.
okay, well that's fine. So y'all can stop
And
being
sometimes
afraid
you
of that.
like booty play, and if you like women, but you like booty play, you good, bitch. You like booty
Tell
play.
her.
And then I'm
She'll buy you a PlayStation 5.
I wanna say something
Get
here
your
real quick.
booty
Hold on.
play. And
Because I know. How do you feel with this conversation? Is saying that playing with your behind is not actually something that you should be
if you
worried
like
about.
it.
If it's a woman you're with and she play with your booty hole,
it's just
Beyond only his booty hole,
but-
because go ahead.
for me, it's fairly simple. Like for me, it's just not my cup of tea.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
and everybody
and-
likes what they like.
and this is a lot of y'all are watching this, and I know a lot of y'all gonna have them weird ass. Well, how can you let people see this, and that? Here's the thing. I've been a Prince fan since I was like 7, 8 years old.
Mhm.
Prince wore heels.
And had his booty.
I've never at
And
any
made
point in time
pancakes.
and made pancakes.
Mhm.
I've never at any point in time watched Prince wear heels and been like, that's what I need to do. As many times as I see y'all on social media, a lot of y'all women who be like, I need a 6'2" nigga with a beard. I've never at any point in time said, you know what, let me throw these heels on. That's my time to shine.
Mhm.
And it's not because I have an issue with it.
That's not true.
It's just not me.
Yeah.
And a lot of y'all, what I need y'all to do is if you don't understand something, I need y'all to quit asking these questions where you go, I don't understand how someone can do this and do that. If you're not going to take the
'Cause
time to
you're
understand it,
judgment
shut
at
the
that
fuck up.
Mm.
Don't
Yeah,
judge
you know.
anybody for nobody
What they
should be-
like and what
they like, what they love, how they choose to live their life. You do. It's not your place to look at that person any different. A lot of y'all use the excuse of religion and say, well, they got to answer to God. You goddamn right. We all got to.
But hold on, God's
But
gonna ask
that's
you,
between them and
did you
God.
enjoy
That ain't
your life?
between you. That ain't between God, and that's
It's
not your
between them.
business.
Exactly.
You got to meet your maker just the same as anyone else does. So mind your business if you're not gonna attempt to understand what it is. It's that simple to me.
As
Or
a,
just
as a,
mind your business anyway.
a major
Yeah.
misconception that
No,
people
ask
have.
questions, because if you
I mean,
ask
if you
questions,
ask
you can probably
questions-
feel more comfortable being amongst people
Mhm.
versus and not have a judgment towards them.
I'm open
It's
to
just
it.
not what you ask, it's how you ask it.
So
Yeah.
most people believe a major misconception. It might be a misconception. You can tell me whether or not it is one. People believe that anyone who is gay or lesbian or bi or trans is because of some kind of traumatic
Trauma.
event or some kind of
Yeah.
major event that happened in your life
Can
is
I-
to make you that way.
Can I get on that first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please do.
All right. So that's controversial as fuck. That's controversial as fuck. The statement that anybody who is gay because of trauma. And I'll tell you this. I come from the perspective that people are born who they are.
Exactly.
People are born who they are.
They are.
And also, I'm going to tell you what I have seen too. I have watched someone who has come from a war-torn country who was systematically raped by soldiers. And I'm talking about this is 28, this is 38, this is 48 men repeatedly. And they do not have the ability, they don't have anything in them to ever touch a man's body again. And that they do crave love, and that they do crave goodness, and they find love, and can only find love with same-sex people. People are born who they are. People are born who they are. People are born who they are. Just like you were born straight as fuck, people are born gay as fuck, people are born bisexual as fuck, people are born trans as fuck. And also, we live in a world that is so meticulous in its colonialism, that is so meticulous in its violence, that the violence can be so vile, it shifts your complete heart and soul.
So then, based on what you're talking about, do you think it's more environment or is it more?
People
It's
are
all
born
contradiction.
who they
People
are.
are
it's not
definitely born who they are,
environment.
but what I feel like about this situation, period, is all contradiction. Everything that everybody throws out be contradiction. Because how can you be a man that sleep with many women and you always want to do them in the butt because you have a butt fetish, and then judge a person that is a lesbian per se and she has a fetish for eating a woman's vagina? You know, like, it's the same thing, different situation. And so when people say that's gay that you would do this and that's gay that you would do that, well then the whole gay term came from sodomy. It never would have been a problem, because what makes it a problem, whether you do it with a woman or a man, is that you can't procreate with it. That's where the problem came in from. So if you can't procreate through the butt, and that's what makes everything gay, is whenever you can't procreate. Period. That's what makes it homosexual, lesbian.
And that is true when
When
we
you
are
can't
looking at the
procreate.
Christian perspective.
Nope. See.
In life. Not even a religion. If you can't procreate, then it makes it wrong because it's all designed to procreate.
Well,
that's what society says.
Yes, and this current society, which is based on Christianity, because indigenous society doesn't say that. Indigenous society doesn't demand us. Our original shit before we were enslaved, before the colonizer came to us, we had a very collective and also very definition of sexuality. But the one thing that we didn't do, there was no demon of sex. When you look at anthropologically our spiritual setup, there's always a god and goddess of sex because we held it in high and sacred regard. It was only when the colonizer showed up that these polarities came, and also a prevalence of things like pedophiles, of things like that kind of shit and rapists got lifted up. In indigenous cultures, sexual dysfunction was met head on, and sexual dysfunction was defined as these babies and non-consensual. You were met with often death in those spaces. This is why there's not a lot of records of that shit, but there is plenty records, and in the spiritual perspective of the different gender spaces. So in this Christian perspective, yes, because we demonize like the
Muslim in religion, period.
And like the Judeo-Christian Muslim perspective.
Religion,
that's right.
period. Don't buy it. Don't base it on just Christian, because just in religion, period. But what happens is if people do that, then I would say any man that sleeps with a woman in the ass is gay.
Oh, pause.
Pause on that
On
one.
that note,
Pause.
like I said, so we're gonna pause on that one because I have to take a breath. So, last thing he said was because of that particular way of thinking. Now, a man will still count that a man who sleeps with a woman.
We're gonna come
a
back.
man who sleeps with a woman in the booty hole is gay.
No, I'm not saying
not is gay, but
I'm not saying that.
Hold on, baby.
But we
gonna come back. You gonna come back and be able to save yourself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an opportunity. But he said it was gay.
No, I was.
But you gonna come back.
I got it.
We gonna come back.
She said it. What do I know?
Let's go. I've been there, I've done that. Hey, but what do I know? I wrote this and won that. Oh, but what do I know? I got degrees and went to school. But what do I know? Survived backstabbers and Judases. But what do I know?
Hey guys, and welcome back to the What Do I Know podcast. And my guests are up trying to get Starburst, so by the time they have a seat, y'all might be able to hear what I'm saying. But anywho, we are back. Thank you very much for that pause. So before we left for that quick break, we were actually diving into men who have preferences for anal, and whether or not that is something that might be seen as possibly a telltale that they possibly bi or gay or might be a little bit straining towards that area. So I kind of want to talk about anal and down low men that kind of go, because they go hand in hand, kind of, sort of, right? People that maybe are being accused of
no, down low men don't go hand in hand.
No, hell nah.
No?
No, because
Because a lot of people be accusing men of being
'Cause
gay,
people
and
like
that's the
anal
first thing
sex.
they
People
say is
like
because
anal
they...
sex.
So that don't make them down low because they say
Some
nobody
bitches like it in
ass.
the ass
Mhm.
too.
Well, you know, that's the first...
I'm that bitch.
Well, you know, that's the first thing you see when in social media, though. That's usually the very first argument
So
you
no,
see
what
is somebody will comment.
before we cut off,
that's
I
some
wanted
gay
to
shit.
just make sure I let people know that I don't think no man that does anything with a woman is gay. So I don't think because a man sleeps in the ass with a woman, he's gay. What I was saying was any man that want to say that because two men are together, they're gay because they have sex in the ass, then you're gay too for fucking a woman in the ass because it's the same thing, different situation. It's the ass and everybody got one.
Okay, so we're talking about that double standard.
That
we're talking about
Yes.
the contradiction. Okay, because I was under the impression that I was like, no,
No.
that's pleasure.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think nothing that a man does with a woman is gay. He can do anything he want to do with a woman. If he
Vice
want to suck
versa.
her motherfucking toes, if he want to lick her ass from the rooter to the tutor, that's
and vice versa, because I believe that as a woman, you want to provide all the pleasure and satisfaction to the end of the, that's what I'm there for. Otherwise, now if it's like you said earlier, if it's same sex, 2-on-2, we both the same, then that might be construed as
homosexuality.
Well, I just wanted to touch it because every time, people add you to groups, you just sit there and look at these ignorant ass conversations they have in silence. But it's usually something where they're talking about, somebody will always ask, is this gay? This to put a finger in the booty. Is this gay to to peg somebody? Is this gay? So you just sit there and watch people really just be like anything, and men really feel like that, I guess. Anything in your ass is gay. Anything, So it's like.
And it's really about being lovers and enjoying sensation. And from a political perspective, actually, so protesting is great. Protesting and doing all the things is great. But let's really break down the fact that why this conversation is so important, and conversations like this are so important. A huge part of our colonization, a huge part of our enslavement was sexual exploitation, a huge part of putting us in the position that we were and getting us to be less than human was to rape men, women, and children, grandfathers, was to make fathers rape daughters. Our enslavement, our colonialism involved a fair amount and still involves a fair amount of sexual exploitation.
Do you think, though, that might be a mirror image of something that colonizers do on a regular basis?
They do that. It's not even that. It's not even that. They do that because it's a tool. Rape is always a tool of warfare and sexual exploitation and colonialism, and it is the most perfect tool. I am a survivor. I can tell you, I have dedicated from 18 actually, from now, every year of my life to healing myself because I have survived child rape, because I have survived rape as a young woman and sexual exploitation. The only reason why I am well is because I dedicate every moment of my life to my healing. I do that because that shit destroys people. 1 out of the statistics, which are off, the numbers are off, but the statistics are 1 in 6 women, 1 in 6 dudes, 1 in 3 women in America before the age of 18 experience child molestation or rape. And those numbers are off. This means most of us are walking around here fucked up. And we're fucked up because this is the legacy of our grandmothers, of our ancestors, of the colonizer. It works. You want to break a motherfucker? You want to break a person? People in prison know this. People in prison know this because prison is part of capitalism and the white supremacists. Yes.
Mind control.
So these conversations are important because our legacy in America, our legacy in any modern country, especially as Black people, is very much due to our sexual exploitation. And a lot of our dysfunction, a lot of our fucked up mentality around sexuality is rooted in our fucked up history. Have the conversations. Even when you're wrong, and even when you're fucked up, and even when you're not gonna say the right shit, have safe enough conversations with safe enough people to get checked when you need to. Say the wrong shit in front of your loved trans friends and let them check you in your soul when you fuck up.
Speaking of, I'm sorry guys. Speaking of, since you said that, I invited Chielle here for a huge reason because I know she has a message that she wanted to make sure that she got out and that she felt some kind of way and has felt some kind of way for a while. And I wanted to make sure to give her this platform to go ahead and get that off of her chest. And it just kind of is a perfect segue off of what you just said. So you said that you had a message for women that you would like to say and
I just really, for like women, I feel like trans women are not your enemy. Like, we really don't give a fuck about y'all like that. To you. You know what I'm saying? We are
they identify
inspired by you. You know what I'm saying? The same way you look up to a real born cis women, you know what I'm saying, that may be older than you, I look up to you. The fact that, you know, I have a mama, you know what I'm saying, I got sisters and things like that. I look up to them, you know what I'm saying, as women that have strong and have been there, especially black women, because
the queen.
Black women, like, you know what I'm saying?
No, and I definitely
you know, and I really want to say something real quick. What y'all don't know that y'all do to the LGBTQ community. You guys never understood that a gay, male, transgender, whatever, always worshipped and looked up as the black woman and the black queen at royalty and rank. Any gay man that you've ever met, there was one woman that he admired to the utmost. And y'all disrespect somebody that admires your womanhood so much because they identify to that. That's wrong. 2, black man, any gay person, transgender, yearns for your respect, not because they want to sleep with you, but because they want to be treated like an individual. And yet, they fight for whenever anything happens to their black man, but y'all will throw the black, gay, whatever, trans, whatever, to the wolves. That's wrong. Then I want to identify the fact that when you guys take your own family and you have people that supposedly that you love and you tell them that they this and that, don't give them a it's okay because it's my family and you disrespect their lifestyle
or their friends.
Don't deal with it because it's not genuine. You give us complex. And see, I'm not a gay man. I'm a bisexual male that is now I'm bisexual because I've been with both sexes, but I am a married man with children. My wife is the best woman that a lot of y'all wish I could be my wife, but I got the one I need because she understands everything about me and accepts me to where I can be my true self. So I never have to be on the down low. I never have to deny myself. And it made me strong enough to love my queen the right way I needed to because she gave me what I needed and gave me listening ears to identify myself to her so she can understand me as a person, not what I like to do or what I'm into sexually. You guys need to stop attacking your families and saying you love them and then attacking another culture because it's the same thing with Black Lives Matter. It's the exact same thing, different situations. You guys take a lot of things that's the exact same thing that's a different situation and you shun it and you judge it and you reject it and you make people mentally unstable. And it's not nobody's fault but your own because of what's in your heart. You all have flaws. Just because you're straight and you mess with multiple women and have fetishes, you have a problem.
And
but
you know, here's the thing. I agree with literally everything you guys came across with. I really, really do. Yeah. I think that the backlash, and this is just coming from a heterosexual female, and this is really what I've seen and what I've observed in the community. It's not gay black men really that are coming out. As a matter of fact, gay black men have been a black woman's support. They've been
the whole time.
The whole time, and that's neither here nor there. They fight the niggas with you. They do it all with you. Y'all disrespect us. But that's not where I'm going with.
Yeah, but it's weird.
But it is weird, and I do agree with you on that. But I think that when it comes to your question, though, Chielle, it's more of, and I'm not saying, because I've never seen you actually ever do this on social media. Trust me, I looked, but I've never seen you do this. But there are transgender men who are transitioning to a female's point of view, and they're disrespectful. They call fish, and they use terms of derogatory, and then when it comes back on, you know, my sister's like you, my brothers like you, we don't want to use, a lot of black women don't want to use those derogatory terms, but we get a lot of derogatory terms turned towards us. And I think that's where that disconnect.
And that comes from the disrespect of the woman first.
And this is where I want to interject some things so black cisgendered women have cisgendered privilege. And we're going to call that right now, I'm going to name that. They're cisgendered privilege.
But aren't men
Hold on. Black women have cisgendered privilege. In saying that today, we got the verdict that a cisgendered black woman, Breonna Taylor, and we knew this was coming, her murderers walk free. There is a disconnect because a lot of cisgendered black women do not feel heard and supported in their black womanhood, and also don't have support and education around our transgendered sisters. I am not excusing, and I'm also acknowledging the violence that a lot of black cisgendered women commit to black trans women. And that is not okay. That is unexcusable. That is not okay. I am also going to name black womanhood is not respected. Black girlhood is not respected. It is scientifically proven, it is proven in the media reports that black girls are adultified, which literally means we don't have a childhood. Our childhood and our transition into womanhood is not respected, just like transition trans womanhood is not respected, okay? And because of those things, because of a lack of our connection to our culture, there is a disconnect between cisgendered womanhood and trans womanhood, between black people, and I'm acknowledging that it needs to be acknowledged that because black trans women are being killed at a high and disproportionate rate, so cisgendered black women do have to acknowledge that. Also, cisgendered black women who are in relationships with black men are being killed at the highest rate. So we are both being fucking offed. Black girls who, whether we are trans or whether we are cisgendered, are being killed. So we are being trafficked. But there is a privilege that cis black women do have that we have to acknowledge inside of it.
But wouldn't you say we need to come to an agreement where we both have to watch out for each other's backs?
We do. We have to acknowledge each other's humanity, because not all trans people are great because they're human, and not all cisgender people are great because we're human. So we do have to watch out for each other. We do. And cisgendered women have to watch out for trans women, whether you get it or not, whether you like it or not.
But trans have to watch out for
whether you get it or not.
Sorry, guys. We have some people that are chiming in on the live. So
we got a question from Jaleesa Choice. Her question is: can you give us some references on multiple sexuality within indigenous history? Because she feels like she would have to disagree. And she feels same-sex gratification is definitely a European trait.
I want you to look at indigenous cultures, especially when it comes to Malawi, when you go deeper than before the colonizer came to us. Actually, it's true. I want you to look at the Loa and the Orisha. Let's go to African spirituality. And when you go to Orisha culture, when you go to Loa culture, Voodoo and Ifa culture, okay, Yoruba culture, all right. There are deities that cross-dress. There are deities that take on both aspects. There are deities. When you look at the Egyptian culture, in our spirituality, we encompassed gods and goddesses who were both one and the same and other, okay? We are complex, and our history is over 30,000 years deep, babe. So a lot of you have only touched base on the first 10,000 or the first 5,000 years, okay? Actually, we're deeper than that. And also, we come from a matriarchal lineage. The matriarchy produces everything, which means the definition of matriarchy is pansexuality, because we really are and literally produced everything. And to produce everything, you have to be everything. A lot of us actually look through our Pan-African culture through the lens of the European space. So don't come to me and say that I'm coming European, baby. First off, Don't come to me and say that. I'm actually very clear that we are millennial deep. And when you are millennial deep, you contain all definitions. Even just that. When you are the alpha and omega, that means you contain every definition that ever was. And when you contain every definition that ever was, non-binary things exist. Also, let's look at Mother Nature. Let's look at Mother Nature. There is a snake that is female that just gave birth and produced eggs and hasn't been with a male for a few years. It's actually in nature. Nature gender bends. Nature has beings, frogs, amphibians that start out as female, and the colony is all female. And when they need to reproduce, a few of these motherfuckers turn male and grow penises so that the species can live on. If y'all don't, what is actually colonial and white is limited view. Black people, indigenous people, black people are indigenous people, understood from the gate that we are expansive. When I say the black woman and the black man is God, that means we are everything. That means we are not just two definitions. It's super European to only think in the binary. It's actually super white. Ooh. It's super fucking white. How fucking colonizer of you, and I'm getting aggressive right now, how fucking colonizer of you to think there are only two things. How fucking colonizer of you to actually not look at Mother Earth her fucking self. How fucking colonizer of you to actually not study the flora and the fauna and know that there are several genders within the flora and the fauna, within the forest and the ocean. How fucking colonizer of you to think that we are, when I say the black woman, when I say the black man, when I say the black child is God, I mean that. And I mean that we are the alpha and omega. We are the divine masculine, the divine feminine. We are the divine alien. We are everything.
Okay.
That's super white of you.
So she said super white. So there. I just wanted to give her a chance to cuss y'all out real fast. So we got some questions. So we're gonna dive back into the education part, because some of you should feel very educated and sitting back and very white.
And some of y'all
That's limited. And let me tell you why I say that's super white of you, because white doesn't exist.
Hold on.
Talk your shit.
Okay. So next.
So we got some questions here, and we're gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna pick somebody. I'm gonna let you breathe speech. You breathe. We'll probably get to you last. So we need to know. We need to know.
Damn.
Right before she dived into explaining to y'all why it's in our nature to possibly be attracted to the same sex person next to you. We were talking about bisexuality and men who are down low. We were about to get into the community, the down low community, and why that kind of exists, and also maybe
That's
a
the
way
black
of warning.
fault.
Somebody's asking, how do we know whether or not somebody you're dealing with is possibly bisexual? Are there signs? How do you know
Why do they
if
have to be
somebody might be
bisexual?
down low?
Also, like, why that asking
shit.
question really points to the fact that, like, y'all don't have conversations no more. You ask a nigga, and if you can't trust the shit that's coming out the motherfucker you dealing with's mouth, then why are you dealing with them?
Exactly.
You literally ask a
That's your
motherfucker,
fault.
are you fucking gay? Do you like booty? Do you like pussy? Y'all, like, have the question straight the fuck up. The signs.
And say, do you like booty, and see if he's
And then also,
you gotta
why
ask, do we like men?
do you like men? Exactly.
You gotta
And
be
then,
specific, because just because a man like every man like a fat ass, so because I mean, come on, so you can't do that.
do you like men?
It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Period.
Be direct, and also, because, like, we are expansive.
Fucking answer.
Ooh, you better
If,
stop.
if a man says, "Hey, I like men, I like trans women, I like women,"
If a man likes trans
accept
women, I
that.
don't
Be
feel like he's gay.
happy the motherfucker told you something.
So
I don't think
God,
that men
that
that
was
like
real
trans
shit.
women
It doesn't
are
matter what
gay.
they like.
I
They
think
like
that
if
they
there's
are
a-
straight men.
accept the shit.
sorry, don't talk over each other. I know you're ranting, but he also was saying something.
Like, I think any man that
said.
likes her, if he likes her and she's a transsexual, I don't feel like if he likes her as a male form, then he's homosexual. But if her exterior is a woman, and he's attracted to her naturally, and he's never been with a man or anything, I don't feel like he's gay. I feel like if he wants to and want to get to know her or pursue her, and it's her, and he calls her a she and never calls him a him, and he identifies her as a she, I feel like that he is a straight man. Only because of the fact that the illusion that he got attracted to her off of was her being a woman.
Well, that's not an illusion. Like
it's
trans
more
women are
of
women.
a-
Like,
People are attracted. I mean,
true.
there's a masculine and there's a feminine to everything. Everyone, every man, every woman, every trans, whatever you identify with, there's a masculine
Because I know
energy
women that
and a
like
feminine
only
energy.
stud women.
And
And want no
Lord
people
knows
are
I
attracted to
pulled
certain
one or two or seven.
characteristics.
Yeah,
People
and
are
they never
attracted
mess
to
with nothing. They're
certain
like, I
looks.
want her. I want
People are
a
attracted
nigga
to
bitch.
certain, like how people treat them, people's energies. It doesn't really matter if, like, there's women that I've been attracted to. I like men though. You know what I'm saying? But I've been attracted to women before. You know what I'm saying? So I've tried the
I've
woman
never
thing
not had
before.
a woman.
I didn't really. That wasn't what I liked. You know,
I
it
love
just.
women.
You know, I was doing it for show. You know, really what it was is the
That's
outside.
different.
So,
You know,
Because I prefer regular penis and vaginal sex. People don't know that, but that's what's unique about me. I don't care. I don't really even care to disclose what I do in the bedroom, but what I will say is, whatever I'm interested in, that's what I'm interested in. And as long as I don't disrespect you, don't worry about what the fuck I'm interested in.
and it's not
Facts.
your business.
Facts. And so when people do make it their business, though, 'cause that happens often, people do make it their business. So, have you guys ever been discriminated against because of your sexuality or because of who you are and how you present?
Who hasn't?
We all have.
Haven't y'all?
We all have.
Look, what? This ain't about us.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but
This
no,
ain't
I'm saying,
about
like,
us.
but honestly, haven't
We
you
all
guys?
have.
Yeah.
All
Every
three of
person
you?
has.
Like,
Yep.
So put yourself as whatever that makes
I
you
feel
feel
like
really
everything
bad.
is everything.
and
Have
take
you
it
been
as that
discriminated
situation.
because you're black? Oh yeah, like we've all been discriminated.
Yeah.
for who
Whenever a
we
white
are.
person called you a nigger because you had your do-rag on and you had your ass hanging out and probably looking dirty, and the man and they judged you by that, it's the same thing.
And I
Take
just
it
don't
as-
understand
it's
why,
the
as
same
black
thing, a
people,
different
we
situation.
can't get that.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? Like, really, it's like everybody against us. Like, honestly, like all races are like always against us.
Not the
But
Mexicans.
we, and even them.
No,
you know
the
what I'm saying?
Mexicans
On some of
love
them,
the trans-
on some, no,
and
I'm
they-
not trans
yeah.
people. I'm talking about black people.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
black people, period.
Oh, yeah.
All spectrums. Every black person
Yeah.
that's watching, that's in
All
here, all of us.
dysphoria,
Yeah.
Black
all
people.
demographics,
We're so
everything.
like we already have the divisiveness within our community anyway, with our straight community, with our bisexual people, with our lesbians, with our gays. So, but the hatred that we have for our trans people, our bi people, our gay people, our pansexual, all of the sexual.
Well, what
the
about
hatred we
the
have
whole-
for people, it's stuff that we don't understand.
Yeah.
Or even care to get to know. And half of that is it was taught to us. You know
Well,
what I'm
I think
saying?
that everybody should think at the point like this. This is how you think about it. And
Everything
this
that
is
was gay
logical
on
as I
TV
get.
was funny.
When you get
When
to
I grew
labeling
up-
somebody and you start to identifying somebody as what you put in your mind on what they do, you go back to that moment when you wake up early in the morning and there's no pussy around. And you turn on the porn that you choose to turn on. And if you getting hard when you watching that dick go in that pussy, does that make you gay? Because what's enticing you? What's exciting you?
You know what? That's actually a question. That's a segue, so I'm gonna jump there because you said it. So, true or false? The things that you can watch on television affect your sexuality.
I don't think so.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think the things that you watch on TV affect your sexuality.
Everything is spiritual.
I don't
everything
remember.
Is energy,
I don't
everything is-
remember
Hold on,
being
Billy, hold
little
on.
and seeing trans people on TV. I don't remember being little and seeing gay people on TV. I didn't grow up around who was gay on TV.
RuPaul was on TV when you was growing up.
When I was like 10, but
No,
I
not
was
when you
me
was 10.
before, way
Not when you was
before
10, younger
I
than that.
realized who RuPaul
Sylvester
was.
was there was a lot. Men were dressed up as women from the beginning of time.
But
You seen it.
I said
You seen it.
and I said me.
You seen it.
Did not like really. I wasn't really exposed to
You
that. a
seen it
lot.
on TV. Period.
So we're talking about like Big Mama's, when Martin
I mean,
Lawrence
but
dressed
it
up.
wasn't
beyond that.
like
It's
I
before
seen
that.
that type of
You
stuff.
got it
Like,
with-
but like I
What's his
said,
name? Patrick
when
Henry.
we
Give me
see
justice,
black
give me liberty, or give me
people
death.
on
They wore
TV
wigs and heels.
as girls,
And makeup.
and it was never growing up for me because we're talking about me.
What we talking about? We talking
we
about
would.
No,
It was always put
yeah.
as a
Gotta give
comedic.
her
Wait,
experience.
As a
no,
comedic
this is her experience.
situation.
Yeah, and she's
As a
talking about hers.
comedic,
Yeah.
it was never put as, you know what I'm saying? Like they have movies like Paris is Burning and stuff like that came out and stuff like that. And beyond really the gay community, a lot of people don't know those movies even exist. You know what I mean? And that's real shit. Like when I said, like one of the biggest
Like
gay
my
movies
experience is
about
like Mrs. Doubtfire,
my,
you know,
Big Mama's house and stuff like that.
you know, the
Right.
generic
But
stuff.
like I said, when they put that out there, it's always put as a comedic thing. It's never put as something serious. It's never put like for example, the movie To Wong Fu.
That's one of my favorite ones, though. The
now,
Tu Wong
these
Fu, thanks
are
for everything,
three
Julie Newmar.
drag queens.
Yeah.
They pretended to be transgender to fit in where they were at. When you first walk on a movie, them motherfuckers, I don't know, but you never really know, like, are they transgender? Are they drag queens? Because you never see them out of that.
Well, at that point in time, they were definitely transgender.
But-
No, they were drag queens.
But it's always said
Yeah, I
in the
think
movie that they're drag queens.
yeah.
Right.
And they
Yeah.
don't say three
Because at that
transgender.
point
If you
in
look
time,
up the
like-
back of it, it don't say three transgender people. It says three drag
Exactly.
queens. And there's a difference between a drag
The reason
queen
why
and a
they were
transgender
called
woman.
Now,
I'm a
hold
drag
on
queen.
that one.
Can I say
And
something
I'm
on that?
a transgender woman. I'm both of them.
Well, now hold on that one. We definitely want to come back to that one. 'Cause I know about. I definitely want to come back to that. But
Well,
what were
the
you
reason
gonna
why
say?
we're gonna go back here. You gonna tell me Chi was a drag queen?
No, I think Chi was the
Was she a drag
transgender
queen?
woman.
My point. The thing of it was is at that time she was only labeled as a drag queen because there wasn't as much
Exposure.
not exposure. It wasn't the tools. It wasn't the things to make a transgender if you didn't have the right amount of money at that time to convert over. Because if they were able to, they would have at that point in time. Because all three of them were women trapped in a man's body. Every bit of them. None of them were masculine men. They none of them identified as men. None of them even interacted.
Wesley Snipes.
Well,
though.
they didn't-
The specific thing that I heard Chielle say was that, like, and what is true is that, like, what you're saying is this, you're talking to the spirit of it.
No, I'm not talking to the spirit.
But the spirit of it is what you're saying. But the actual reality of it is that that's not it.
No, it wasn't.
Those people weren't transgendered on there. And what she's speaking to is when you look at the
They
thing,
were.
they marketed it
Not
as
all of
no,
them.
it wasn't. And what she said, like, you're speaking to the spirit.
Yeah.
If you look, because that's one of my favorite movies too.
Mhm.
But the
Wait,
only
hold on.
Yeah.
But what Chielle is saying is that movie is put up as like that was an example
These
for
are
y'all when
3
it's
men of
not.
drag
When it's
queens,
not.
yeah.
Because it's
Right.
drag queens. That's not 3 transgendered people.
Yeah, they
and
would come off as drag
when you
queens.
read the footage of like Wesley Snipes and John Leguizamo and like Leguizamo,
That Patrick
and they did not research that as transgendered women. They did it as drag queens. So So you guys are talking about like same subject but different levels. She didn't find representation in that as a transgender woman. Am I saying that right?
Correct.
Am I okay?
Like that.
And so
And I
what
agree.
you
It was
are
a drag
speaking
queen
to
movie.
is what you are speaking to, which is actually very valid because the spirit of who we are is in our culture. The spirit of that is in there. It is inferred that Chi-Chi is trans.
Thank you.
It's inferred on a
she identified
spiritual
to any
level
transgender that
that
became
it's
one.
trans,
She
but
was
it
that
is
level.
not said, which is valid, and it wasn't said because of the time and where we were coming up.
And
It
then
wasn't
you gotta also
said.
understand somebody who's like with me. I'm heterosexual, so I'm watching this. I'm seeing drag queens.
You didn't relate to the trans.
Yeah,
You didn't identify to nothing.
Yeah,
but the question-
Except for it was drag queens.
But
It
the
was-
question, just to make sure we stay, because we kind of that's
Well,
the question itself though, like kind of like shows like there's concern that like P Valley and Uncle Clifford and the things that you see on television and the way that there's a lot more images of more boy on boy, girl on girl. There's a lot more sexual images and
It was
more
always
things.
around.
If that was the
Always
case,
been
then there
around.
would be actually no gay people because we are accosted with your nasty ass, stupid ass, dumb ass, straight ass sex scenes all the time. So if that was the case, if sex scenes and that shit made people gay, there wouldn't actually be any gay people because the level of which heterosexual sex is pushed
exploited.
down our shit and exploited, there wouldn't be gay people. So shut up. What you're mad is that some of y'all are are genuinely straight and uncomfortable with gay sex, say that and get over it. Because there's a lot of us who are gay as fuck who are uncomfortable with your stupid ass straight sex. Okay?
Well,
But can I say something?
Yeah.
Well, I want to say that I feel like people who question that, a lot of times you have a curiosity. Because there's never a point in time that I'm confident in my sexuality, what I prefer, what my experience has been. I'm confident in it enough to say that shit doesn't bother me. Because
that ain't what you like.
What someone is doing in their bedroom behind closed doors, that shit should not bother you unless you have a curiosity about it.
Well, that's
What
I wanted to say is,
what I
want to say is, you said you never grew up seeing any type of drag queen as a child. I disagree with that because when you were growing up in school, you learned about drag queens. When you go and learn about the Constitution, and you learn certain things, you look at who's in.
They didn't teach us the Constitution and no drag queen.
Look at their clothes and their attire. They wore wigs.
They did not teach.
That's androgynous.
They did not.
Well, you know, you guys bring up
but that
great...
doesn't have nothing to do with
it has everything.
They were not teaching. This is because drag queens wore this.
Well, let me ask you this though.
You never seen it.
Let me ask you this. Let me reel it back.
Guys were wearing wigs.
Why was
they weren't
that
like
was so
George Washington had on a wig.
Why was something so hidden being talked about?
No one get on my nerves.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't get because I don't know. Maybe you're not explaining it right to me. That I'm not getting it, but I'm just like saying that you're not taught.
Well, do you think?
Like I don't know what they teach now because I ain't been in school in over 20 years. When I went to school, they were not teaching us gay stuff. They weren't teaching us about gay rights. They weren't teaching us about none of that shit.
Well, nowadays, so it's a completely
but
different.
You've seen on TV,
social, learning, emotional.
A comedy. It was always a joke. When you seen RuPaul come on TV, it was a joke.
I don't really watch him
when you seen the people on In Living Color hated it, that shit was a joke.
Yeah,
when you seen Big Mama's House, them are comedies. When you see Norbit, that is a comedy.
To exploit
but they never said these are transgender people, and that's what I'm saying.
Let me bring it back to another question, another dynamic on where you guys are going. Do you think that society should give men a pass on being able to experiment and find out what
there shouldn't be a pass? Like, why is there a pass? Why are you worried about what this person is doing sexually because you don't like it?
Well,
I don't like women. I would never have sex with you.
Well, that's okay, baby.
Well,
Wait, why you gotta say like that?
I'm just saying, right, but and not that you're not a beautiful woman because you are, but I'm just saying I'm not attracted to that. If like we were like having a threesome with my nigga and like you just wouldn't do it for me. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be worried about you. I wouldn't be trying to get on you. I wouldn't be eating your pussy.
Well, beyond all that,
I think it affects the down low portion. That if you don't make people comfortable, then it's like.
But why does that?
What it is men become down low because of insecurity of women in the.
Do you think it's more not being comfortable?
Let me say something. Because every time I say something, y'all stop it. So what I'm trying to say is like part of the reason why most men that are really heterosexual end up straight is because they're homeless, is it because they're on drugs, or because they're insecure about the size of their penis, or a woman has made them insecure about their self, period, for them to become down low. Most of the time when they're straight, is there damage from a woman to make them go to that level?
The same way some women be like men do
so,
them. And
with that being said, when I was going back to the point where I said whether or not it was discussed as being taught about something, you're not taught how to fuck when you watch a porno and nobody says, this is how you fuck, you go watch this porno, you see it, you want to go do it. You've been seeing motherfucking men dressed as women for years. You've seen people in the Constitution, like I said, with their fucking wigs on and their makeup and their lipstick on and their heels. It's been around forever. You always seen it. Everything has to do with symbolism. It can trigger you and you don't even know subconsciously that you're getting attacked with something spiritually.
But that does not mean that you're taught that in school. That's what I'm saying.
So you don't have to be taught it to actually start to manifest it and not even be born with it. It can be something that you keep seeing. Like you can keep riding by Starbucks and never have Starbucks and decide to stop in there one day.
So it's a genuine concern then. So that's like I said, my Facebook wall. One of my friends is in Atlanta, and he actually one of his main concerns is he just really trolls the hell out of stuff like P Valley and stuff that shows images of men dressed as women or being with another man. And he's like, our children seeing these images, it can actually gear their sexuality. So is that
I don't think
accurate?
that. I don't think that because, like I said, I didn't see a whole bunch of gay sex and stuff on TV when I was younger, but I knew I liked dudes. I didn't see that. I didn't see a lot of that on TV. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that has nothing to do with
that's
Isn't
just
that right up there with
like
gun violence?
I feel like that is more of a, you know what I'm saying, realization that, like, I'll say, for example, one of my nephews, when he was like 7, he asked me, as kids get older, he was like, well, what's going on? 'Cause, hold on, something ain't right. And I told him, I said, people is different. That's not for you to understand or to know because you're 7. Do you love me?
How the hell
do you love me
that?
less?
It's not for him to understand if you grew up from the moment you knew that you was. Y'all, that's cliche.
Because
how is it not for him to understand?
Because it doesn't have to be. It is hard for him to understand because if he understood, he wouldn't ask the question.
So that's why he's asking.
It wasn't for me to explain to him.
That's crazy.
About transgender people at 7 years old because I didn't feel comfortable.
That's what you should say. It's
not.
I don't feel comfortable
finish saying what I'm saying now before you interject what I'm saying.
No, I'm telling you what you're saying because what you're saying is.
But if you just let me just say it.
No, I do because you interrupt a lot. So what I'm trying to say to you is,
but I'm just saying.
I identify on the same level as you. So at the end of the day, when you do a lot of, whether you know it or not, and I've heard it because a lot of women say she's always dragging women, but she want to be one. I've heard it a lot.
I know I do.
How dare you? How can you drag something you want to be?
Okay.
You think you better than the original?
So
you can never be the original.
Have you ever?
Never. Any bitch that disrespected me got disrespected off her accord of disrespect.
Okay, so but the point,
but you will get on.
But the fact of the matter, have you ever disrespected anybody? Has anybody else in this room ever disrespected anybody? Have you ever disrespected a black woman? Have you ever disrespected a black woman? Have you ever disrespected a black woman?
I talk shit about her sometimes.
Have you ever disrespected a black woman?
Anybody that disrespected me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we can't be like, oh, well, I seen you do this. Who has it?
So you can't.
That's what I'm saying.
And talk about it and then done it.
So what I think I'm hearing is that. Shit,
what you're hearing is
know.
Because this is what you're hearing because it's always interrupted and going to where it wants to be going when we're on one topic that Janelle been asking. Is it down low? Do the men get a pass? You keep talking about what you feel when you're a transgender. You can't talk about nothing what a man feel when you're a transsexual because you identify to a woman.
Exactly, and vice versa.
Your answer is irrelevant.
And vice versa. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to feel.
I didn't tell you
how as a transgender woman or what your opinion and my opinion is.
But I think you guys will be able to, like, you know what I mean, just as far as understanding that you guys have different perspectives.
We just have different
experiences on it, and that's understandable.
What it is, and you ain't wrong.
No, what
I'm not wrong, and we just have different perspectives.
Yeah, but so what she was asking is, do you think that TV gives people an initiative
exactly, and as I was
to make them bisexual or gay or anything?
I don't think that media and all that is what it does it.
So then what made you want to buy? How many times have you ordered something online that you see that was cute?
I don't really order that. I see it online.
Because let me just a little bit of background. Everybody in this room, we are friends outside.
Oh yeah, we are friends. This is my brother.
Right.
Don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucked up. This is my motherfucking brother.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's why we can talk like this.
Yeah,
and that's why they forgot they on a whole podcast. And they talking over
so y'all don't be thinking like, oh my God, these motherfuckers
are
going
the question, just to make sure I get everybody back wrapped and back into the questions because we are getting to the end of the segment. But I want to make sure we understand this. One, Billy is saying that, and stop me if I'm wrong, but after I'm done talking. So Billy is saying that television can actually influence sexuality because it shows you enticing images that may want you to try what you see, kind of like advertising, correct? maybe just certain things may
I
make
believe
you.
that the eyes are the window to the soul. And I feel like what you indulge in and what you see and what you partake into, like unawarely knowing, you will end up indulging it. Because it's been like thrown at you and thrown at you and thrown at you and thrown at you subconsciously and you're not even knowing.
Okay.
So, like you can ride down, like I said, social media and you can see ads all the time. All the time. And there's this one dress that keeps coming up and like, God, I'm gonna end up getting this dress. Bitch, I'm gonna get it this time. I got the dress. You only got that dress because you seen it.
Right, but what if you tried on the dress and you didn't like it? Now,
There we go.
That's what we start
what I'm
talking
going.
You
about.
got it from Wish.
That's what I'm
And that
going.
happened. And that happened.
And that happens.
That
So
did
you can have a man that is 100% heterosexual and be like, damn, that city star got a fat ass. Damn, this other tranny got a fat ass. Damn, that bitch, you can't even tell she was born a nigga. God damn, okay. All the niggas running around here then got caught up with a tranny. What's the hype about these trannies? Then he sleep with one and be like, I'm never fucking a stinky booty ass tranny again. That was not me. He's gay because he had that experience?
No.
Or is he not?
And that's our
But then
question.
the first moment he did that, and a woman that he confided in telling his
Finds out.
truth to, you faggot ass nigga, you fucking niggas in the ass, you dick in the booty ass. You didn't demasculate this man to where other women might not be wanting to deal with this man because he did something natural.
he
Because a dog
experimented.
will fuck another dog that's a male if he's the only one there and they just too much of motherfucking heat. They gotta get it out. You didn't see 2 male dogs get stuck naturally.
Because
So,
homosexuality
because it's natural.
appears
So,
naturally.
with that being the case, Speech, please address this question. Should society give men a pass to experiment the same way that they give women a pass to experiment?
Here's the thing. In this society, because it is patriarchy, the only reason why men give women a pass to experiment is because it is under the lens of toxic patriarchy. In the end, humans are humans. No one's allowed to do anything by anybody else's permission. We are humans. And the point of humanity is to explore and to expand. And everyone has the right to do that. Black people are expansive. We contain multitudes. And everybody should be able to be allowed to explore their sexual, their social, their mental, their definitions. They should be allowed to do that. They should be allowed to do that. When we talk about women being allowed to explore, a lot of times the only reason why y'all like women who are gay is because y'all want it for y'all's pleasure. A lot of times what y'all don't like, when it's two studs that are together, a lot of y'all don't like that. And a lot of y'all don't like
'Cause it looks like
studs
two
and different
men.
because it looks like men, and really that's not appealing to the male gaze. It's not about
No, that's
letting
the straight
women,
men, you
it's
mean.
not about letting anyone do, it's not about anyone having control. It is about acknowledging the fact that it is a human right to be able to explore your full humanity. It is a human right to be able to define yourself, what your gender is, what your sexual orientation is. It is a human right to be able to experience the fullness of your sex and to be able to explore that. It's a human right. And in the end, a lot of y'all speak from an inhumane perspective. You put so many boundaries on blackness. You put so many boundaries on black sexuality. You put so many boundaries on black sensuality because you put boundaries on black people. Again, the black woman is God. The black man is God. The black child is God. The black person is God, which means we are the alpha, we are the omega, and every gradation in between. Be human, whatever your version of it is. There are 10 billion times 10 billion versions of it. Be human. And black people are allowed to be that. Black men are allowed to explore their bodies and all the sensations in that. Black women are allowed to explore their bodies and all the sensations in that. Black women are allowed to be their definitions, be them trans, be a cisgendered. Black women, black men, we're allowed to be us. Be that. Be that. Be that.
Before we get out of here, I want to make sure we address one last concern about this is So people concerned, like as far as down low, you see a lot of talk of it. There's a lot of people that are concerned about it. That, like I said, you can't help it. People wondering, what do you know? He asked me to do this. He might be gay. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, this, that, the third. Now, should you actually find out this information? Is it ever okay to out someone? Is there any situation where people deserve to know about somebody's sexuality?
If they sleeping with them, no.
If you're sleeping with me, then
You do not
that's
know
our
everything.
business. That's our business. But you know what I'm saying? People, once again, are people, and people's gonna have attitudes, and it's gonna be the same thing. If you do some fuck shit or something like that, you might make a motherfucker mad enough to do something like that. That's just the way things go.
But then you gotta
It's
go back
all
and
the
reflect
same
and
in
say, you
other ways.
gonna
It
out me
doesn't
now
matter.
after?
You shouldn't have did it if you was gonna be ashamed of it. Period. How about that? If you was gonna scare somebody was gonna find out, don't do it.
But do you think it's fair
No.
to force someone to come, I guess, out of the closet?
Do you think
if
it's
they're
fair for someone to use you as an object for what
object
they
for their
want
sexual pleasure and then tell
throw
you
in
that
the
they've been
trash?
they
doing that
don't do
since
this?
the beginning of
So do you
time.
think that's
No, but
fair?
do you think it's fair? Because
No,
if
Is
no,
that
it's not
fair?
fair.
Yeah,
No,
is
it's
that
not
Well,
fair?
fair.
Ain't life ain't
It's
fair.
not. It's not fair.
Life's not fair.
But then,
But it's not. But it doesn't make it right.
That
It
doesn't make it
wrong.
right.
They're saying they're
So no,
robbery.
so here's the
But-
thing: we don't out people, and a lot of times people get outed because of the
Because of-
shame thing.
Or if they like
Because
try to
they're
do
ashamed
something,
because
or they like threaten
it's not
you,
okay
or
to it's not okay to out people.
Mm.
It's
I
not
would
you
okay
never-
to
made
out
a
would
good
people.
point.
never
You
out
said
anyone.
threaten.
because
Let's talk
yeah,
about
I mean, there's
that.
been
That's what I
times
wanna
where
talk
I've had like
Yeah.
people like be like sending me pictures or something like that, showing me they little ass dicks or you know what I'm saying, some bullshit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'll be the first motherfucker to screenshot it and send it to all my Facebook friends. So please don't do it, because that's what happens all the time. Please.
And that's
That's
what I think we
dangerous.
were.
And
I
I'll
think
be
that,
so serious about it. So please.
I'm
I
not
think that's
laughing
what
to
we
be
were-
laughing, but
Yeah,
that's
but
like
no, because it's real. The truth is always
Yeah.
funny, and I do
Yeah.
it all the
No,
time.
what kind of
Have you seen some
threatened-
dicks
I'm
before?
gonna say, yeah.
what kind of threatened situations
But-
have you? Because
they
I
don't
guess
threaten
this is something
me.
that's a privilege that we
you
have
have a
talked
real
about.
story. Like that's a whole nother subject. She's been
Yeah.
threatened,
But that's-
disrespected in the utmost, and that takes another turn in this world. Because what y'all dudes don't be knowing is that half of us, we be sparing y'all from beating y'all guys because we don't want you to kill us. That be the honest to God truth.
Mm.
Like with women that
That part.
disrespect. Women disrespect and they do stuff and they get away with it because we don't want to be labeled as a woman beater or you're still a man. And this, don't do shit that you don't want to have to suffer the consequences
Hide
for.
from.
And then I don't want to have to be disrespected by you because then you going to humiliate and then I beat your ass, bro. And then you're going to be mad and want to shoot me because you got your ass beat for being disrespectful. Like, it'd be so many levels to the threatening. I can go to the club. I can go to the 7-Eleven and feel threatened just from walking in there being myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's non-stop. But then if it was to be the opposite, because what y'all don't understand is when you have been tormented and tortured and have a complex and all that from school for a very long, from school, wherever you go, job, work, school, wherever you go, and it comes to a point where you have to defend you,
A breaking point.
it's more dangerous for the other person on the receiving end because I done took all I can take.
I'm not
Any
gonna
gay
lie.
person that has ever, or bisexual person, they have got to their cup full and they've had a snap. In school, any person that you know that as you ever went to school with, in school they had a big episode one time in school that it was their breaking point, and they did probably the most dangerous thing that they could do from being attacked from all elements. And it's not only threatening, it's threatening from the women. Because a woman to be your friend, the most threatening part of it is a woman can be your best friend. And you would trust her, and you feel like she has your back and accept her. You can be truthful and tell her all of this. And then she'd be the first one to talk about you because she like a nigga and change up and be funny and laugh at you. And then that'd be the whole start.
Or walk around.
Right. I don't even
had
gonna lie,
pictures
'cause a
my
lot of what you're
homegirls
talking about-
walk by me and tell
Here's
me
my thing. A
all
lot
my
of what
business.
you're talking about is the same thing that Black women go through, and that's the crazy part, that we cannot come together at an I see your pain, you see my pain. Let's support each other, and
But
that really.
and can I say one more thing on that? When you say that, it'd be a Black woman that gets that, and it'd be a friend like her that'll support you all the way around. But then let a man like him be attracted to her and not you, then your whole disposition change.
I know these chicks.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
saying like I know these chicks.
Yeah.
No.
And that's where I'm really coming to an end with this
Especially if we're
conversation.
attracted to the same guy.
You know what?
And
I
it's
don't know.
like,
'Cause
damn,
I've had girlfriends and boyfriends who have been attracted to, you know, the same type of individual. It comes back down to a respect level. And again, I may be one of the few who feel this way, but it just sounds like your struggle is the same struggle that I have. Literally, what you're talking about is the same thing that I go through, and
And
it
the
just
same
sucks
thing that a
that-
black man go through from just being a black man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Same thing,
We all
different
go through the
situations, but
same-
yet you guys talk
the
about
exact
community,
same
it's time to
struggle.
build, it's time to uplift, but then no one wants to build together. They want their empire built. They want you to walk and build them.
Mhm.
Well,
That's where it comes from.
thing is, we do have to acknowledge that the greatness of Black people. Slavery was amended 150 years ago, and that is less than half the time that we were enslaved. So, what we can't do is always speak about the fact we need to acknowledge the issues and the problems within our Black community, but also we are a snap and an eye blink out of the worst of it. We are the worst to each other because we should not have survived what we went through. What we cannot do is, and we would have to get better at, is being able to name our issues with each other without the venom and the judgment. Black women have been horrible to trans women. Trans women have been horrible to cisgendered Black women. Yeah, because we're all human. So to deny that is to deny the actual humanity of trans people.
That's why I'm not.
And wait,
Right.
yeah.
I'm not
Black men have been horrible to
to
Black
cis
women and to trans women.
Black men have
We
been horrible to everybody.
have to acknowledge that. We have to, and we
But
have
then
to.
the
But
world's
hold
been
on,
horrible.
yeah. But we have to acknowledge it comes from colonialism. It comes from the fact that everybody is anti-Black. It's come from the fact that Black people have to handle everybody else's hatred of us and our own hatred of
And teach
ourselves.
us to hate ourselves.
Exactly.
So with that, no, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No, we
So
didn't.
with that being said, though, acknowledge
Like
how
400 years of slavery
great
will beat
we're
that into
doing.
you.
Acknowledge how great
Right.
we're doing. Acknowledge the fact that we are
was
learning.
the first
Acknowledge
slave
that
master?
we are half white people.
Were the first slave
Yeah, they were. And I'll tell you this, because slavery has actually been around in many different
We
cultures.
enslaved ourselves.
Before white people
Ever
came
got a
along,
chance,
they did it different. And so we can yeah, we're not
And that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show.
We'll jump on that show.
But being that to say that these conversations are important and they're healing, and also
Because the Black
we're
people
super
have a
fucked
problem
up.
with blaming other people for their own mistakes.
Facts.
And see, I'm not a
So-
biracial person. I'm not a racial person. So when it comes to discrimination comes in all forms. Racism comes in all forms.
Wait, no. That's a fundamental thing that's wrong. Discrimination and prejudice and bigotry, everybody can be. The only
Prejudice
people, only
comes in all
people who
forms.
can be racist
Racist?
are white people because they are backed by a systematic system. We cannot say that.
Mexican ain't never
No.
called you a nigger.
They are bigoted. They are prejudiced. I am not,
Racism.
and they are anti-Black. Mexican people are under the same system, so they can be fucked up
That
to
don't
Black people and they're
matter.
anti-Black.
We're not going there.
We're
We're
not going down this rabbit hole.
yet.
We're not going down this rabbit hole. I know all these people, and they will talk a whole different show while we're just standing here looking at them arguing about that.
We're doing good though. This conversation is good.
We're gonna have this on a whole nother segment,
Right.
but
Before we get out of here, really quickly, Trey's gonna take us out and whatnot. But before we get out of here, Speech, there was a request for you to please provide some specific resources that she can look at to try to tell her a little bit more about our indigenous backgrounds and things like that, because she needed some specific examples for where to do some research.
From a spiritual perspective, you can begin looking at Yoruba and looking at Voodoo and looking at Lukembe, looking at Candomblé, looking at Paulom. Those are spiritual African traditional traditions, and that's going to root you in the spiritual aspect of African spirituality and gender and all of that. And what you really need to do is just research. It's there. I want you to go in and to look at the deep history of Malawi, the deep history of Kenya, Burkina Faso, okay? Like, there is South Africa, there is North Africa. This information is there. Y'all think Africa is Egypt. And that's it.
Komet.
Y'all think that's it, and that's great, but Kemet was actually the least of the greatness of blackness and what is on that continent. And if you think Egypt is great, it literally is the least of what Africa can do. When you go and even when you look at Rwanda and Somalia, modern days the Rwanda and Somalia, they honor female ejaculation. Just about every single black woman in there knows how to and has access to their body and the relaxation techniques that allow you to ejaculate. And if you're a female, and every man is trained in that. These practices are actually right there. The first thing we have to do is decolonize as black people. It's not just about learning your history. You have to decolonize. You have to recognize that you are learning your black history through the lens of a European perspective, and then just go deeper.
Did you
just go deeper?
Really quickly? Did you just that's like so you're saying squirting isn't pee? Can you address that really quick? We'll come back to a different show on that, but so squirting is not pee.
Isn't pee. It comes from a similar space, and there's properties that are contained in urine, that are contained in squirt, but squirting is not pee.
That is.
It's not. It has same properties, but it's not urine. It's not urine.
And if you do it right, it keeps the vagina, keeps it all nice and juicy, so you can really get into that.
Lord.
Oh, my bad.
Focus. We got to roll out.
We got to roll out. Let's end this bad boy.
But yeah, starting there, and I would just say if you start with the African, start with the spirituality. Because when you start with the spirituality, you'll be able to go to the depths of the spirituality, and then start with the cultures that were worshiping the spirituality. And that will tell you a lot of what's going on. And also, sexuality wasn't like for white people in modern culture. Sexuality was everything and nothing. So you really need to study our cultures. Sexuality wasn't placed in the same spaces as the European culture. So this culture is over sex and not sex education. When you study the culture of our people, it actually is there in regular text, but also it isn't spotlighted in a way where it is objectified.
This is the only thing that confused me, and this is why people have a hard time with that, with the separation of what you're saying. About 20 minutes earlier in this segment, you said that there's no such thing as white or European. Everything.
No. I said there is no such thing as white.
Right.
Because whiteness was only created to separate races. There isn't.
Right.
There is white people, and I say that to say white people are actually indigenous to the earth just like everybody else.
My point. So
they are
how are they not black people?
Because they're not. They are not, but white people are Celtic. They are, exactly. And when you get into that, and when you understand, when you separate whiteness, you can attach them to their countries. And when you attach them to their countries, you will be able to attach black people to all of those countries.
See?
But we'll definitely come back to that.
It's so much we could have touched on tonight. I had questions that we didn't get to, and that's okay.
I love a black woman with intellect.
Oh shit! So we gonna get up out of here for this week. Thank y'all all for tuning in. Thank you to the guest speech, Billy. I appreciate y'all educating all of us. I think you guys put out a lot that you guys need to look into and stop, deal with your own fears about the subject.
And whoever hit me up on that, you can hit me up on Instagram or like Facebook or ladyspeech@gmail.com, and I can give you some other.
Yes. Do you guys have anywhere? Where can they reach you guys at? If they have any questions or.
Don't reach me. I'm unavailable. My wife don't play.
Don't reach him. He's unavailable.
Unavailable. Lady Speech, everything. Lady Speech at ladyspeech.com will be coming online soon, but also all the things, the social media is Lady Speech. Yep. And this was an education, so I would like us all to mention where you could pay us. My Cash App is Lady Speech. My Venmo is Lady Speech Sankova.
There it is.
So you can drop that. Where can they see you and where's your money at? And also mention where your money at.
Let's see. You can find me at Menage the Doll on Instagram. Menage a Trois on Facebook. Don't friend my ratio page, because if I don't know you, I'm not friending you.
Come on.
Boundaries. You can follow me on Twitter at Menage the Doll. You can pay me at Cash App. Love Menage. No, Menage the Doll. No. Yeah, Menage the Doll. Zelle.
I know that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Hit me up on Facebook to get my Zelle information. I'll send you the email, but basically it's menageatrois@gmail.com. Venmo, Menage the Dog.
I love it.
You threw it all out there. Shit.
I ain't even mad.
And PayPal, Menage the Dog at
I don't even know the name of it,
gmail.com.
but I
Right.
got one.
And Speech is
You gotta
going to
know
probably
that.
address this
Yeah.
on one of her many social platforms.
Mhm.
But you have
Absolutely.
questions where somebody is actually wants you to go a little bit further into the racism thing, because they're saying anyone can be racist.
Yeah.
And I know, like I said, I'm not opening that can of worms. I'm expressing this.
Yeah.
No,
That
I'm
will
not
be
doing
there.
that. I'm saying
And to
It's
them,
what-
I just want to say, really look up the definition of racism. Look up the definition of racism. Racism is backed by a system. It's backed by a system. That's all I'm saying. These are semantics. I'm not saying that black
Anyone
people
can be
or
racist to
Mexican
against
can be
black
fucked
people.
up. I'm saying that anti-blackness is real, anti-indigeneity is real. I'm saying that Mexican people can be fucked up. I'm saying that. But racism is backed by a systematic system, and that is something only white people have. Black people can be all the other things. We can be bigoted. We can be fucked up. And I'll get into that. But go look up racism. Go look up the actual definition of racism. All right? And what I want is to get us to name our shit correctly. Because what a lot of y'all are talking about is anti-blackness. And also, let me be very clear that we can't be racist to white people.
Right.
When you look at the racism, now I can be fucked up, I can be violent, I can be fucked up, I can be judgmental, I can be bigoted. I cannot be racist to you because I'm not backed by a system that oppresses you. And a lot of times you white people want to be oppressed so bad, but the system, I can be fucked up to you, but there's no system that's backing me up against you. There's a whole system that's backing up your bigotry and your prejudice, which makes it racism. That's it. So come for me when you're fucking ready to jump against it, bitch!
All right.
All right.
Well, you can
On
find
that note,
me at Jamie Nichole on Facebook and Jamie_Nichole 5280 on Instagram. And
you can find me on the AHRR network, but you won't find me here next week because we are
That's
off.
right.
Break.
So we're on
Yes.
break, and we'll later on with But What Do I Know podcast. And I'm RUKUS 303. The Rukus page is full. I'm trying to do my Instagram because I'm blowing up. Not really, but it sounds good. I'm gonna speak it into existence.
Yeah!
But follow Sonara Lynn and check out her new album. She's
Okay,
coming.
see, y'all can see them. So, y'all can see me on Womack was here 83 on Instagram, Don Teray Smith, Viva La Womack, all on Facebook, the Trey Artist page, the AHRR network. Follow us all there. We are gonna get up out of here. We're gonna go enjoy this break that we have next week.
Yes.
And when are we coming back?
We should be back the next week, but like
Follow
I said, I just work here. I
look,
don't know.
it'll be new hair, new me.
I'm getting a boosie fade, all kind of shit.
I'm
Y'all
the
ain't
same
ready for
me,
the next
same hair,
episode.
same all that shit. Love it or leave it. All right, so thank y'all very much for tuning in, y'all. God bless. Peace.
like survival yourself in a sense. So we're gonna answer this question the best way that he can, and we're gonna get it in. And you got 4 minutes, and we're gonna analyze this thing a little later on. So here we go. You ready, Hardaway? Let's go. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. So I got a question for you, man. So say for instance you decide to take a nice little road trip with your daughter, right? Okay. Just want to get out, go do something nice for yourselves, and you're driving, you're taking a nice long trip, but all of a sudden, you realize to yourself that I should have went to this gas station that I just passed up 45 minutes ago. But it's the next one up the way. It shows that the sign that there is no more gas stations for the next 10 miles. But all of a sudden, your GPS goes black. Oh. Something encourages you to pull over You have no GPS, so the prepared parent that you are, you know, you do have a map, an actual paper map. So you have the ability to navigate and get around.
Okay.
Yes. So, you with your 11-year-old daughter, sitting in the car, you're looking at the map. You realize that your alternator light cuts on. Yeah. The alternator light cuts on, so you know I should turn around and go back to this gas station that I just passed 45 minutes ago because there's no gas stations for the next
10 miles.
All right. So we're on point. So as you make this U-turn, unawarely, you kind of run over a nail. So this nail is kind of detrimental because as you make that U-turn, it kind of went inside. So you kind of had a blowout. So now, in the distance, you can see some lights. It looks like it could be a house. So you have a decision to make. Do you now with this alternator light on and this blowout,
Nail in the tire.
and the nail in the tire,
No gas.
and so you got to get some gas. There's a gas station 45 minutes behind you driving, but there's a house that's kind of like walking distance, almost not walking distance, but you can see it. It's kind of hard to see because it's raining
It's
now.
off in the distance. Yeah, it's off in the distance.
And it's raining now, so it's kind of even harder to see that now. So, before you get ready to head out or even make a decision to head out, you do have a revolver that has one bullet in it, okay, and a fully charged taser, stun gun. What next?
Let me see, it's raining. No gas station for miles. I'm either short on gas or I just need some any type of help, period. No GPS because my phone is now blacked out. Taser and a revolver. I do believe I'm gonna have to proceed to the house. That's the closest. I will keep my taser. I will keep my revolver. I'll probably hold the revolver with the one bullet. I'll allow my daughter to hold a taser.
Okay, you're gonna get that 11-year-old the taser, okay?
Being responsible. I mean, dad that I am, I got some rain cover in the car and I got a kid, but at the same time, I don't have all the tools that I need to get the job done that I need to get done. So I need some help. I need some help. I need some help. So
you are the help.
So
what do we do?
Beyond my control. I mean, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to ask for help. I mean, I'm gonna have to take the trek to the distance and get some help. I don't want to do any more damage to my vehicle, but at the same time, I'm protected enough with my ability, with my personal physical ability. But I do got some tools that could help me out in a tight squeeze, in a jam.
Okay.
So yes,
Okay.
I'll keep the revolver.
Okay.
I'll let my daughter allow her to hold the taser because shit, ain't no telling what's gonna happen once we get to this house.
Yeah. So you taking her with you?
Yes, she has to go with me. I mean, the car has to be left. I mean, of course, I'm gonna take her with me. I'm gonna keep the keys. I mean, there's nothing I can do that's in my control. I mean, but ask for help because anything more could either damage the situation or make it worse. I mean, that's the best thing that I feel like that I can do in a situation such as that, with all the odds damn near stacked against me. Yeah.
Okay, so from the distance, you can see from the distance that it looks like it could be a house.
Looks like it could be a house.
It's raining. You're gonna walk out there. You're gonna give your daughter the taser. You're gonna keep the revolver, and you're gonna take your chance by walking to this other location.
Okay. To get some help. I gotta get some help. There's nothing I can do as far as going back, because 45 minutes back the other way for the nearest public service station with no phone, no GPS. That's gonna translate to a 2 to 3 hour walk on foot.
It is.
That's gonna translate to a long walk. So do I take a chance on leaving my daughter to walk 2 hours in the opposite direction for help?
Ooh,
Probably not.
Whoa.
I'm gonna have to take it. Right, she's gonna have to go with me.
That'll be a hell of a decision,
Man, she's only 11 years old. I can't take it. I can't take that chance.
Okay.
There is possibly a light. It's closer, but if I know in my mind that I've got 2 hours, or maybe I got 30 minutes, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna seek out the 30-minute route. I'm gonna just make sure I keep my pistol and my taser handy and my baby with me. It's gonna be a long walk either way you go, so we have a lot of explaining. It's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a lot of talking and explaining that needs to be done. So yeah, definitely.
And that's how we gonna rock that, right?
That's how we gonna rock that. All right.
Okay, so well, that's what it is then. So so you rather go ahead and just say I take the chance and walking with my baby girl in the rain. You know you are in the country kind of, cause but anyway, you don't know what that house is because it could be Dr. Javorkian up in there making human centipedes. So you with that?
Oh man,
you really don't know what's down that way.
I don't. See. Well,
I'm just wondering.
I do got a pistol. I do got a tape. You know what I mean? The walk is gonna definitely be filled with a lot of information in regard to having my daughter utilize it properly. I mean, I could take the chance with the car because it's not totally dead. However, the tire's just flat, but there is no telling to what extreme that light comes on. And knowing me, I'm a responsible guy. Let's not forget that. Any lights coming on in my car, it means something. It means something.
Okay.
I guess I'm going to Kevorkian crib, yeah. With my pistol and taser.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Give me some pay no fuck. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right, my ninja. Okay, well, yeah, that's the buzzer. We out of time. That is 4 minutes. We appreciate y'all checking in on the next one. We got our boy Hardaway here. I'm talking about he is not leaving his baby girl in the car by herself. On top of that, he gonna give her a stun gun. So hopefully she don't stun the shit out of her.
Right, hopefully she don't.
Or stun the head out of him. Oh, daddy! You know what I'm saying? They gonna take their chances and walking in the rain. So we gonna get back with y'all next. In 4 minutes, Mr. DG, we out here. Wait, now that was a serious one, Jack. Now we want to know, what would you have done in these type of situations? As a matter of fact, please leave your comments down below, subscribe, like, and don't forget, most importantly, we want to thank you for joining us here on the AHRR Network. As a matter of fact, do you have what it takes to survive in 4 minutes? Let's see what you got. Until then, join us the same time, same channel, same network. AHRR.